Welcome back. Have you noticed our palm trees are dying? They are actually a number of diseases taking out our beloved palms, but the latest is the Texas Phoenix palm decline. It first showed up in central Florida, but it's now spread to Tampa, Manatee, and Sarasota counties, mostly affecting larger palms as tall as 30 feet. And joining us for more is Alex Barth, landscape manager at Troy's Tropics, Wayne Grubb at the Golden Palm Landscaping, and we hopefully to have another guest coming up in a moment, but Monica from the University of Florida, thank you very much for joining us. Wayne, let me start with you. When did you first become aware of this disease affecting the palms in our area?
Probably 2007, which is when they first found it in Sarasota County at Sarasota-Bradenton Airport. They had both lethal yellowing and Texas Phoenix palm decline at that time.
And Alex, how much has it spread in our area? As we just reported, it seemed to be first noticed in central Florida, and how quickly did it come here?
Well, pretty quickly. I mean, personally, I started seeing some symptoms in 2010, 2011, and then 2014, we got some data out that some were affected at the main research center in Fort Lauderdale for the University of Florida.
You know, that many of us at home, our palm trees are always changing because the lower branches seem to die off. So I would imagine there are a lot of people who may not know that their trees are affected by this.
That's correct. With the disease, the decline of their lower fronds is rapidly. In 2 or 3 months, you might lose 20–25% of the canopy. And usually at that point, the spear leaf will collapse and die, which means that the palm is terminal. Even though it has green fronds, it's not going to produce any new fronds. So as the disease escalates, it'll die. And
it's, I would imagine it's very difficult to treat. In Erica's story, she reported that some services are offering injections of antibiotics, but one injection costing the lowest amount, something like $45. That's not something a lot of people could afford to do repeatedly.
Right. I mean, you have to take into account that any piece of landscaping is going to be considered to be an investment. So, as opposed to, you pay $5,000 initially for a mature palm tree, upwards of $5,000 to $8,000 sometimes. And it's kind of like paying an annual due. Paying a little bit of money is going to save you having to pay a lot of money in the future. And this disease affects native palms too. You're actually playing a part and keeping the ecosystem intact by doing your due diligence as a homeowner and a palm owner.
And joining us also by Skype is Monica Elliott, a professor at the University of Florida's Fort Lauderdale Research Center. Professor, what have you been able to find out in terms of how this disease can be best battled?
With the Texas Phoenix palm decline disease, the best treatment is going to be preventive, and that is using an antibiotic. It's called oxytetracycline. And we actually inject it into the palm. So it's like giving a shot to a palm, but it works best on a preventative basis. We don't really recommend using it once the palm is showing symptoms.
So what do people do if the palm is still alive, but it is beginning to show these symptoms?
The best thing that they should do is actually remove it. Once you know that it has this particular disease, you should remove it right away, even if there is some green tissue in the canopy. Because as long as the palm is there and has green leaf tissue, then the insect vector is going to feed on that leaf tissue, pick up the phytoplasma, the disease organism, and then move it to another susceptible tree.
Wayne, I would imagine that this is really testing a lot of municipal budgets for those who have to go out there and try to deal with the trees that line our streets.
Yes, because municipalities have large numbers of them. It's just, like Alex said, if you have $5,000 to $10,000 invested in a palm, if they shop around, they could probably get injections, $15 to $25, which you do it 3 times a year, so $45, $75 a year to protect a $5,000 to $10,000 investment isn't so bad. It's kind of like buying insurance.
Okay, we are just getting warmed up. We'll have much more on palm trees fading throughout Florida right after we check the first alert weather. Stay with us.
Are you currently on Medicare? In other words, do you carry the red, white, and blue Medicare card? If so, are you suffering from chronic back pain? If you answered yes, you may be eligible for a pain-relieving back brace covered by Medicare at little to no cost, shipped directly to your home for free. These medical-grade back braces are ideal for lower back pain, arthritis, spinal disorders, and other chronic back problems. Will you qualify for a medical-grade back brace?
Call Back Brace America at 1-800-683-9262.
Attention blood thinner users. If your loved one took Xarelto or Pradaxa and suffered serious internal bleeding, call right now. You may be entitled to financial compensation. The widely prescribed blood thinners Xarelto and Pradaxa have been linked to a number of dangerous side effects, including internal bleeding, gastrointestinal bleeding, kidney bleeding, stroke, brain hemorrhaging, and even death. If you or a loved one suffered any of these injuries after taking Xarelto or Pradaxa, call right now. You may be owed significant compensation from the manufacturer. Thousands of blood thinner users may have been exposed to serious risk by these dangerous medications. If you or a loved one took Xarelto or Pradaxa and suffered serious internal bleeding, call right now. Call Nightline Legal to speak with an experienced attorney for a free consultation. If we don't win, there is no fee. There are time deadlines to file a claim, so don't wait. Call right now.
Call 1-800-554-3987. Again, that's 1-800-554-3987.
Attention Medicare beneficiaries. Medicare's annual election period has begun. If you already have Medicare, new benefits may now be available with no copays, no deductibles, or $0 premiums. Call now to speak to a licensed insurance agent who can help guide you step by step through a free analysis of the benefits available to you. And you may be eligible for plans that even include additional coverage for dental, vision, and prescription drugs. MedicareAdvantage.com searches thousands of insurance plans from leading insurance companies. We'll help you find plans that may cost you less, cover more benefits, and give you more choices, like home delivery of your prescriptions, gym memberships, and even over-the-counter allowances for everyday needs, like antacid, allergy medicine, vitamins, and even toothpaste. Don't miss the deadline to enroll. It's time to get more out of Medicare.
Call 800-314-8605. That's 800-314-8605. 800-314-8605. Call now.
Our conversation on palm trees fading continues right after we get a check on the first alert forecast with Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrington.
Well, right now some palm trees right there in the foreground, and you can see a nice day out there on the water. There's a KC Key webcam showing fairly calm conditions on the seas. Seas running less than 2 feet. Should be similar conditions again tomorrow if you plan on boating and going out there. A nice sunset tonight. Again, looking off toward KC Key. Some showers down to our south. A little bit more action down there today. You can see that from Cuba up through the Florida Straits and near the Keys and stretching over to the northern Bahamas this evening, associated with an upper level feature, an upper level low that is moving from the west to the, I should say, east to the west. Eventually will set up in the southwestern Gulf of Mexico in the upcoming days. Now for us, it's going to bring some moisture back into the picture. It's been relatively dry here. We will see a better chance for showers and even a few thunderstorms, yes, on Friday and continuing through the weekend, unfortunately. But it's not going to be a washout. I'm not going to look for a washout over the weekend, but we will see some noticeable showers moving on through. We had a little brief shower here or there earlier today that has all since moved on, and we're not anticipating anything significant throughout the overnight hours. 84 right now. We have clear skies. The dew point is at 67. That's what makes it a little bit nicer out there. That lower dew point temperature makes the humidity at 56% now. Winds are out of the east at 7. The pressure 29.95 inches. That is rising ever so slightly at this time. So we're looking at high pressure still holding on. 91 degrees. Yesterday was 92, so it's cooled down 1 degree from yesterday, but still well above average. The average high at 86. This morning's low is 73. The record low 54 set back in 1942. No rainfall to report so far. October's been relatively dry. We're over an inch below average for the month, but still over 14 inches above average for the year. Now, the forecast Thursday hourly looks to be pretty similar to what we saw today. Highs will be a few degrees above average. We'll have partly cloudy skies throughout the day. The rain chance only at 20% for a late day shower or two, just a 20% chance for that. Our rain chances will bump up, though, as we push to Friday. Here's the future cast with the RPM model showing a little bit more action down to our south near Fort Myers into Charlotte County. This is at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. You'll notice not much going on in Sarasota, but then by Friday we'll start to see more shower and maybe even a few thunderstorms developing as the winds stay out of the east and northeast. We may even see a little sea breeze kick in, and that will allow for a little bit more convergence to set up. Well, in the tropics, we have our newly formed hurricane. This is Ophelia, and it has now become the 10th consecutive hurricane, which is something we haven't seen. In fact, the last time that happened was in 1893. It is now a hurricane with 75-mile-an-hour winds, a tight eye at one point, and you can still see it there. There's still a chance it could even gain a little bit more strength as it makes its way to the east, then eventually off toward the northeast. And it could have a significant impact on Ireland, it looks like right now. And then the steady stream of moisture you see out there in the Atlantic, some of that will be working its way toward the west, and so that moisture will be picking up a little bit for us, and we'll have a better chance for some showers and storms, as I mentioned, Friday through the weekend. Well, here's the latest on Ophelia. Top winds are at 75 miles an hour, and it's moving to the east very slowly at 3. You can see that forecast cone and certainly takes it off to the northeast, and then eventually bends it off to the north, and it will become extratropical. I mean, it won't be tropical in nature, but boy, the winds will be up to 70 miles an hour, and it'll be racing through this area. This could be a big storm and a big problem for England as well as into Ireland over the upcoming weekend and early next week as it makes its way in that direction. A little surprising to see that, but they usually get most of the remnants of what the tropical systems bring through the Atlantic. Well, the low pressure area that you see right here over the northeast continues to make its way through the northeast United States, and the associated cold front for the most part now is stationary. It stretches right down there into the Gulf of Mexico. Things are going to stay there too as far as the cool weather goes. It'll stay well to our north. For boaters, I mentioned a nice day tomorrow. Light chop on the bays and inland waters, and northeast winds at 10 knots. And the water temperature still warm here, 84 degrees. Tides on your screen, and next high tide will be at 4:59. Mostly fair. An isolated sprinkle not out of the question for the next hour or so, but generally quiet. And then tomorrow the rain chance at 20%, high of 89. The extended forecast is calling for a much better chance for at least scattered storms on Friday and through much of midweek next week. Alan will be back with his guests coming up right after this.
This is an important medical announcement. Bard IVC filters have been linked to punctured veins and problems with migration. Anyone who's received a Bard IVC filter must receive medical monitoring and may be entitled to substantial compensation. If you have the Bard Recovery G2 or G2 Express filter, you are in a class of patients who should be compensated for some expenses. Call now for a free assessment of your case and potential money damages. This call is confidential. There's no cost and you may be eligible. Juries have awarded millions of dollars to people who should have been warned about the risks of the Bard IVC filters. Call the IVC Filter Hotline if you or a loved one has received an IVC filter and experienced a vein puncture or required medical monitoring. You must call now.
Call 800-329-3089. 800-329-3089.
Glasses and contacts. You need them to see, but they put such a strain on your life, you miss precious moments. Due to new advances in vision improvement technology, LASIK is now affordable for almost everyone, with procedures starting as low as $299 per eye and over 1 million procedures performed by our trusted independent surgeons. LASIK surgery is a sensible, safe, and affordable solution to improve your vision. Our simple 3-step process begins with a free evaluation, followed by an extensive preoperative exam to determine if you're a candidate for LASIK eye surgery. Depending on the results of your evaluation and eye exam, you and your surgeon will choose the LASIK option that works best for you. So call now to talk to a LASIK Vision Institute counselor and schedule your free evaluation. That's a $100 value, free. Call the LASIK Vision Institute for your free evaluation and enjoy more of your life.
Call 1-800-813-0109. 1-800-813-0109.
Every week on Animal Outtakes, it's a new animal adventure.
They are about the size of a dog, and there's only one place these deers can be found.
Really one of the success stories of the Endangered Species Act. We're up to, we think, somewhere between 750 and 1,000 key deer.
And this carnivore just wants a close-up. Let's hope he doesn't get too close.
Join us this week on ABC 7.
Welcome back. What's killing our palm trees? Joining us for more is Alex Barth, landscape manager at Troy's Tropics, Wayne Grubbs, Golden Palm Landscaping, and joining us by Skype is Professor Monica Elliott of the University of Florida's Fort Lauderdale Research Center. And Professor, let me start with you. We talked about the problem that is happening right now in terms of the diseases. What are the solutions? Are researchers like yourself looking for what's going to cure some of these major diseases from affecting our palm trees?
We are looking at how to manage these diseases. It's really difficult to cure any of these large palm diseases. And right now we have two main foci. One with the Texas Phoenix palm decline. We have a researcher who is trying to determine what the vector is. In other words, what is the insect that is moving it from susceptible palm to susceptible palm. And then our other focus is on looking more closely into the genetics of the pathogens themselves, trying to determine why, for example, fusarium wilt that we see on our queen palms and our Mexican fan palms, why it is able to kill the palms so quickly within a matter of 2 or 3 months. And we're hoping by looking into genomics that we can determine a little bit more about these pathogens themselves, and that will give us clues to use for management purposes.
What kind of time frame are you talking about or hoping for in terms of coming up with some of these answers? Because we've been doing a lot of stories about citrus greening here in Florida, and it's ravaging our citrus industry, and it almost seems that researchers really are hard-pressed to find a solution for that.
It's going to be years. With citrus diseases, you really have a small army that is working on those particular crops and those particular pathogens. When it comes to palms, it's a very small group. It's only 1 or 2 people that are actually working on these. So it's going to take us a lot longer to determine how to solve the problem. So we're really talking 5-10 years down the road. It's not something that's going to happen overnight.
And Wayne, that puts a lot of people into a tough spot. You know, we saw in Erica's story that some people are spending about $800 per that injection into the palm. You do it for how much?
It's $25 for a single injection, and it steps down to $15 if they have 5 or more palms.
So obviously there are folks out there taking advantage of homeowners.
Yeah, most definitely. You have to do your due diligence and make sure the person doing the job is certified. A certified arborist is recommended. You know, there are scalpers out there, unfortunately, people that take advantage of people in a dire situation or with perceived wealth. So, you know, please get multiple estimates and make sure you're, the person doing the injection is a certified arborist like Wayne.
And you were telling us during the break that there are some kind of insects or something that you could see underneath the root system of the tree?
Well, no, the main vector is supposedly a plant hopper, but what they have found is the weeds have been surveyed around affected palms, and they're coming up with this phytoplasma, which is disturbing when it comes to the health of other native palms that are susceptible to TPPD.
And are there kinds of palms that these diseases are affecting and kinds that are not, some that are being affected more than others?
The large phoenix palms, Phoenix canariensis, Phoenix dactyliferus, and Phoenix sylvestris are common. They're expensive palms. And then the sable palm, our state tree, the cabbage palm, is the first native palm to become infected. And since there's so many of those out, there's only so many palms in the landscape of the date palms, but the sables, they're everywhere out in the wildlands. So there's a lot of inoculant out there for it to grow and multiply in at this point.
And Professor, are you seeing a trend in terms of where in the state palm trees are being affected? We reported earlier that it seemed to be first noticed in central Florida, then spread to the Tampa area, Manatee, Sarasota. Where is it at its worst, and where areas are still yet to be affected?
Unfortunately, the Tampa Bay area is being most affected right now. We are seeing it move to the East Coast, but it's not nearly as severe as what you see in Hillsborough, Manatee, Sarasota counties. We have seen it actually in the Fort Lauderdale area, but it's not very severe at all. We have seen it in Palm Beach County, but again, it hasn't been nearly as devastating as what it has been on the central west coast of Florida. And that's where it may have something to do with the insect, that the insect prefers your area and doesn't prefer the Fort Lauderdale or the East Coast.
And the fact is, palm trees can die for other reasons other than disease or this kind of disease. So is it important for homeowners and communities to really get professionals out there to look at what they have?
Yes, that's one of the main things we really want to get across is while diseases make the headlines, the fact of the matter is that probably more palms die from poor nutrition, poor use of fertilizers, and over pruning. And that's really what the homeowner has control over. So many of these lethal diseases, they don't have a lot of control. There's not a lot of management tools, but the homeowner does have the ability to manage what fertilizer is going to be applied to that palm and how that palm is pruned. And if they do those things correctly, then it also makes it easier to detect the problems, such as the diseases, in earlier stages where they might be able to have some sort of management tool to reduce the disease.
And Alex, what about our municipal response to this? How have local cities and towns been in terms of dealing with this? Because, frankly, taxpayers are spending a lot of money to line our streets with these palm trees, and every so often, this, they're not taken or they're dying off.
Yeah, I would say I'd have to guess that they're not taking enough steps right now, and it's basically because of lack of knowledge and proper oversight. A ton of money, taxpayer money, is invested in these initial plantings of these palms, and to not do your homework or to not take care of these deficiencies when they arise, it's a shame because we end up paying for new palms in the end.
Wayne, do you see a lot of outreach between professionals like yourself that are on the front lines in cities and towns who see this happening and may not know exactly what to do?
A lot of knowledge is spread through the Extension Service, so if the homeowners have a problem, they can go to the Extension Service. There is a lot of maintenance companies that may not be aware of these diseases. If a palm dies, their job is to cut it down, haul it away. They don't try to find out why. And if you don't find out why, you can't stop it from spreading. So it's important to find out what disease you have.
You can replant and be back right where you began.
Exactly.
All right.
Yeah.
We have to take a quick break, and we'll be back with final thoughts when we return.
If you're over the age of 50 and considering buying an annuity in the next 60 days, I have some important news for you. Don't buy an annuity until you understand the pros and cons of annuities. A free book to help you maximize your retirement income from television host and three-time author Josh Melberg has been released. This book reveals little-known truths about annuity strategies in simple-to-understand terms. Grab a pen right now because we are about to offer you this free book that unlocks the 5 little-known secrets we believe baby boomers and seniors should know before buying an annuity. Call 800-307-2040 now, and you'll receive a free copy of Josh Melberg's book, Next Gen Annuity Strategies Revealed. As a bonus, we'll also send you the #1 mistakes retirees are making with their investments today, and a free DVD on how you can get up to 33% more income in retirement. Call 800-307-2040 to have your free information kit rushed to your door. Again, that's 800-307-2040.
What if you had a medical emergency away from home?
My chest hurts. I can't breathe.
What you need is Mobile Help, America's premier mobile medical alert system. Most systems only work at home, but with Mobile Help, you get help outside the home with coverage nationwide on one of the largest cellular networks at the press of a button. Call the number on your screen for a free full-color brochure. We'll send you everything you need, including this base station, the patented mobile device, and the waterproof pendant and wrist button. You can also add the fall button that automatically detects falls and signals help. Call today and receive a risk-free 30-day trial. There is no equipment to buy and no long-term contract. For a limited time, you will also receive a free emergency key box with your plan purchase. Remember, Mobile Help keeps you safe coast to coast.
Call 1-800-916-8638. That's 1-800-916-8638.
Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com, your guide to the foodie lifestyle. ABC7's own Chef Judy serves up her favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blogs, step-by-step videos, and Suncoast Restaurant Guide. You'll find it all at mysuncoast.com/dining.
Our guests join us right now for final thoughts. And Professor, I'm going to start with you, because what do you want people, homeowners and municipalities watching this right now, to walk away from in terms of just what kind of danger palm trees are at this point?
We have so many diseases occurring right now that we are worried about palms and the future of palms in the state. We do want to maintain palms in Florida. They're just iconic. That's immediately what everybody thinks of. And it's going to take a united effort in order to do this. And also being sure that we're planting a diversity of palms. It's so easy to plant just one type of species, and that just makes it easy for these pathogens to move. So it's going to take a collective effort.
If that's the case, Wayne, are there certain types of palms that seem to be less susceptible to these diseases?
These different diseases have different palms that are susceptible to them. So there's really no perfect palm out there. Generally, if you stick with natives, you have a better chance. I think with Texas Phoenix palm decline, the biggest thing is prevention. If every palm was injected preventively, the disease would go away. But that's just not going to happen. But the more palms that are injected preventively, the less it will spread.
Alex, I would imagine that this topic is catching a lot of people who are watching it by surprise.
I'm sure it is. And here's the facts of the matter. We all have an obligation, the city, homeowners, and our local experts, to really tackle this problem. The sable palm is the Florida state tree, and to lose something like that would be a crying shame. So, I really feel like homeowners should take the extra step, contact a local expert with any type of palm that's in decline. And we can all, if we all do a concerted effort of that, we can make a difference in this disease.
All right, we'll have to leave it there, gentlemen. Thank you. And Professor, before we go, we want to share with you some thoughts about last night's show. The new hires in Sarasota. The city of Sarasota is hiring 19 new employees. 10 of those employees are in the planning department, which cost the city over $250,000. Some city commissioners have spoken out against the hirings. We went to Facebook to find out your thoughts, and Nikki says what they should have done first was hire a few good auditors to report where tax dollars are being wasted so they can make adjustments to run their government more efficiently. Somehow I predicted that comment. Jimmy says tax and spend. I predicted that one also. Sharon says there has been a shortage of workers in the city of Sarasota for a very long time, but I don't think we need more planners. Well, if you'd like to join the conversation about tonight's topic, just visit our Facebook page at facebook.com/mysuncoast.com.abc7. And FYI, you can watch past discussions on demand. They're available on Apple TV, Amazon Fire, and Roku. We want to thank all our guests for being here tonight. Alex Barth, who is with landscape manager at Troy's Tropics, Wayne Grubbs, Golden Palm Landscaping, and joining us by Skype is Professor Monica Elliott at the University of Florida Fort Lauderdale Research Center. When we return, we'll have a final look at your first alert weather, plus an update on the wildfires that are spreading throughout Southern and Northern California. Stay with us.